We're going live. Hey, everybody out there. How you doing? We were so busy talking about politics off camera that time slipped away, but we're starting now. Welcome to Comics by Night. There's three of us here. We've got a great book here to go over that I don't know if Glenn or Russ even have seen any of the interiors on this before, but it's going to be a great time.
I would imagine I've seen the odd page, but
Yeah.
not in its entirety. I'm very
jealous.
Of
fun people to look at.
I would love that book.
I don't even know I had it until I went to look for that Alien movie adaptation.
Really?
I forgot I even had it.
Then if you popped it in the post and sent it to me.
Oh, I'd notice it because of the postal rates.
Well, I don't mind paying for the post. So you just tell me how much.
I just tried mailing 3 comics out. You can't mail these unless you send them priority. Priority's 3 times higher than first class. It's like, oh, geez.
Why?
New rules.
Oh, new rules.
Money.
We don't want the plebs talking to each other and sending each other stuff.
Oh, heaven forbid we send stuff to other people. Yeah. Here we go. Let's start with this.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Again, I hit the button and it didn't go through. Let's try it again.
The views and opinions expressed within the video content found on the Indie Comics Network are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Indie Comics Network or its sponsors.
Just thought I'd run that because we've already been political. So
yeah. I mean, we've done it all in the green room.
Freaking post office.
We should do a podcast called The Green Room and show that.
And then get completely struck.
Yeah.
Nothing like getting us in real trouble.
Green Room by Night.
I bought this book at a convention and brought it home, put it on a shelf, forgot about it because I've seen a lot of the material that's already in here. Normally it has a dust cover, and this time it doesn't. It just has a great gold embossed picture of what is that?
It looks like Alfred E. Newman when he's dead, doesn't it?
Cousin Ernie, yeah, or Cousin EERIE on it. We open it up and there's this great 2-page.
Oh, look at that.
That sort of sets the store, doesn't it?
And just look at the ink work on there.
Yeah.
This has got a lot of everybody in it. That's why I wanted to go through it. It's the first 5 issues of EERIE magazine from Warren, put together into a book brought to us by Dark Horse.
I'm gonna have to watch this. I'm gonna have to watch this all the time now.
Doing
some work.
I was surprised that people like Jack Davis and Gene Colan and Wally Wood's in it. I was surprised at the talent that was in it. I've seen the magazine, and Archie Goodwin and Wheezy Simonson was an editor at one point. Archie
is the editor. He came in right off the bat. Creepy had already been coming out at this point. Archie is credited also as a writer, along with Ron Parker, Carl Wessler, E. Nelson Bridwell, Ian O. Binder, and Larry Ivy. Yep, with Archie Goodwin as editor. But look at this list of artists here that we have: Colin, Davis, Crandall, Ditko, Frazetta, Mastroserio, Morrow, Orlando, John Severin, Jay Tacey, Torres, Toth, Williamson, Wood, Krenkel, Norman, Donald Norman, and Don Adams. All in these five volumes.
Oh, God.
There are 5 issues.
Yeah.
EERIE inherited the talent pool that Gaines had found. We just went around and asked them if they wanted to keep doing that kind of stuff, only without any kind of restrictions. Comic Code Authority was well enforced at this point.
Sorry, I just looked it up on Amazon.
I believe this is 1964.
Well, this This one's 2009, March 10th, 2009, and the hardcover currently is $99. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I paid $10 for it.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. I got this at the same time I got a Vampirella volume hardcover.
Yeah, there's one for that's 52.
And we can look at that. It's not the first one, though. This is the first volume archive. It's got the very first 5 issues in it, and it's just all classic. I mean, just without a doubt, classic material. Big forward.
Is Johnny Craig on that list? Sorry, Randy. Is Johnny Craig on that list?
No, he's not.
But he's there, isn't he? As that J. Tacey or whatever it was he said. That's Johnny Craig.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's one of those pseudonym things, whatever you call them, pen name.
Cool.
Where is it?
Yeah, I thought that was an odd
JTC halfway down. That's
Wallace Wood.
That's Johnny Craig.
Wallace
before he came Wally.
Yeah.
Oh, he was already Woody at this point. He signed a lot of his EC stuff Woody at that point.
I suppose it stands to reason that Jack Davis would be on it because we can already see the soles of the feet.
Yes, I was about to say, look at that illustration on the left there. There's a touch of the comedic about it.
Yeah.
and the monster coming through the door behind.
That's Orlando, Joe Orlando.
Look at the eyes beyond that door of the monster coming in.
Yeah. Looks almost scared.
The monster's scared, yeah.
Funny.
35
cents, #1 from the editors of Creepy, first issue, black and white, all black and white. Even the cover was black and white.
It was a limited edition, wasn't it? The first one.
I think so. Creepy, I know, had already been running at this point. So,
and
Warren really started up because Gaines decided to focus on Mad.
Look at the girl, the figure, the hips. That's real Jack Davis Mad, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep, you see a lot of that there. A Warren magazine. He ran that all the way through. That little tagline. Very simple contents page. Image of Bluebeard.
Yeah, did we mention this at the end of last time with this wash? I don't know if the artist is on this one, but is it on that?
No,
case?
This is all ink. Oh yeah, there's a little wash. It's sitting in here, yeah. Ink wash.
Is the name of the artist on the casket the halfway down?
Yeah, it's Orlando.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely got a wash on it. Then.
Yeah, ended up going to DC after this, I believe, and doing a lot of the romance and some of that other work. Yeah.
No, I was just looking at the pictures. Maybe.
Yeah,
you can see. You can see the brush, can't you? On the folds, big thick brush
and pen work.
Yeah, just
beautiful combination. There's a lot
thrown in there, you know.
Yeah, I think it's the confidence.
Yes,
I think that's what even the early work of so many of these artists.
Well, he's got at least 10 years under his belt. He was doing EC stuff also.
It just oozes confidence.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Yes.
Plus, a lot of these guys come out of advertising backgrounds, like Ramita and did.
To me, it shows confidence and got to get this done.
Yeah. Just like bang, 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 bang. I know what I'm doing.
No undo on this one. Got to get it right.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try a brighter light. Is that worse?
That's fine.
That's great.
That's great. Yeah.
Just one light, or are we good where we were?
No, we're good. Don't mess with it.
I can bring it.
No.
No.
It was fine the way it was.
There.
Originally.
That's fine.
We still have a little reflection up in here too.
I thought it's better on there than on the page. So.
All right.
Do you know what I think is significant about this kind of material is it reminds me of how good the storytelling is in the way like the Twilight Zone was and the Outer Limits, the way they would tell the story. Do you understand what I mean? They wouldn't just bang in there and you didn't know what was going on. They would lead you in.
Yeah.
Really
because
clever.
they were just so. I mean, they were done in a single set, weren't they? So one story.
Well, you're coming off of the EC line. You're coming off of phenomenal radio plays that everybody's listening to or had been listening to at night. Television at that point was incredibly well written because a lot of the radio drama writers went over and started doing television. So you got a lot of short story work back then, a lot of quick vignettes. So
Beautiful
and
work.
this is, I think,
But the
64.
short story,
Twilight Zone's running.
it gets you in it. I like short stories. Personally,
Oh, yeah.
I like graphic novels that are just one story.
Yeah.
Or at the very least encapsulated. You know that I do. I obviously, you know, from a perspective of, you know, what I used to buy as a kid, you know, having serialized books is great because it keeps you coming back because you want more of the same thing.
Yeah.
And that was before. I mean, I was buying those before really there were proper graphic novels. But you know, the short stories. I've never been much of a fan of anthologies, to be honest, which is a bit weird because I do like the idea of having this one encapsulated story of a start, finish, and end, and being led into the characters. I like the idea of a series of individual stories with the same characters. And I think maybe that's why the old serialization used to work, because you could pick up a Spider-Man and the worst that would happen is that, you know, the next week would finish the story or the previous week would be the start of it.
Yeah.
That would be the worst that would happen, or just 2 or 3 issues. Whereas now the story is so expanded in everything that gets put through.
Diluted is the word.
You can't jump into the middle of a run and say,
No.
okay, I'll start from here.
That was the problem with Claremont, wasn't there, with X-Men?
Yeah,
there's just so many intertwining plots, and you didn't know what was going on. I stopped reading that because of that.
That got to be a major problem with Claremont because he would start all sorts of stuff and never finish it.
Yeah,
he'd drop all these little hints. But
Yet on
the other hand, your older writers, your Gerber, Englehart, and that, they could drop a hint like that and follow it up 2 or 3 issues later, and they knew that the stories were also a lot more simplistic back then.
Yeah,
but you weren't dealing with 8 characters running around at once in 8 different directions either.
Well, that's what Kirby did with FF51. He introduced that guy who takes Ben's power in 50.
Yeah,
when Galactus was hanging around, and you sort of missed it. It was only, I think, it was 2 panels, just a little teaser. Very clever.
My favorite subplot like that was Gerber in the Defenders. He had a couple of pages he had to fill, so he created the elf with a gun. And he would come up with just the most odd. They didn't finish that off until Gerber had already left the book, disgustingly. But every time they were doing a Defenders story, and again, those stories only lasted 1 or 2 issues at a time, somewhere in there was at least 1 page of this oddball location of this person that gets shot by an elf with a gun. And it was just hilarious. It's a guy is singing bad John Denver music in a trailer park in Colorado, and there's a knock on the trailer door, and he opens up the door. Who is it, honey? It's an elf with a gun. Blam. A couple of guys riding horses in the Grand Canyon. There's an Indian up there who keeps asking him. This is back when every cultural stereotype was still raging. The Indian, and they're remarking, "Oh, look, he's dressed in his native dress, and he's got his hand up, and he's saying how cute." Then the head pops off, and they go, "Good Lord, it's an elf with a gun." The last panel is always a thin blam at the end of it. Just hilarious. Anyway, but I digress. Here we are, some more wonderful ink wash here.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
The guy with an axe. And look at that. A lot of these early ECs are known for that. Guys with or artists in general with beautiful pen work, beautiful ink work, doing realistic.
Gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, just amazing stuff. With always a twist or a somewhat twist ending.
Yeah.
I first was introduced to the eerie and creepy Warren stuff out of the comics, The History of Comic Books in America by Les Daniels. They reprinted the Black Cat that was in one of the early creepies or eerie's that Al Williamson did from Edgar Allan Poe story.
Is that in the comics book?
That's not in this. It's in the comics book. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that. Yeah.
The one with, let me reach it here. I have it. I I have it handy. Whoop. There went your CD, Russ. Sorry. That one.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the one I got. Yeah.
That still holds up as the one book that I found that has a definitive history of comics, at least up to the 70s in it. Right up to the start of the direct market.
Boom.
Oh,
these pages look
had to get
almost...
that up off the floor.
Oh, yeah, brilliant. I've seen that. It's very good.
Yeah.
These pages are very, they look like roughs, don't they? You know, sort of not finished.
Well, they've
but
got the essence of a storyboard about them.
yeah.
Here we're looking at George Evans, who also did a number of World War I stories for EC. He has a love of biplanes. Went on to have a big.
I mean,
career.
that's masterful. This is a mastery of sequential art where Noah was saying the other day about it being a complete storytelling system, because it's allowing your imagination to fill in. So you can imagine if a modern day colorist got hold of this, there'd be all the clouds would be in the sky and all the rest of it. You're doing that with your mind right now.
Look at the guy
while you're reading this. It's beautiful, and the motion in this.
And there's no reason to show the sky because you just know it.
No.
Look at that first.
And that
page.
wasn't a dig at colorists, by the way. It was just the approach, you know.
Look at the first page and that bottom panel there. Look at that whack on that guy's helmet. Who's talking? See what I mean? And
on the left.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Both of them, all of them have dents.
I don't think anybody would survive that shell or whatever it was. I'll tell you something else. You know, you were saying about the sky. I bet that sky is very dull and grey if it was real life, and full of cordite and gloom, and there would be no blue there anyway.
They put he put the explosions up there, just not the rest of the sky. Yeah, the smoke.
It's fantastic
coming in. Just beautiful stuff. Every page on this is like all of those artisan editions. That's all cross hatching here.
Yeah. What else did George Evans do? I've never heard of him before.
Oh, he did. Well, we can definitely go through some of that stuff. I've got the whole set of Two-Fisted Tales here from EC, which are all war stories that are just beautifully rendered. Some of those are World War I stories that Evans is known for his biplanes.
Yeah.
And doing that kind of work. He went on to do a lot of work at DC for their war books for quite a while, in there with Kubert and Atkins and Russ Heath. He did I believe there was a great graphic novel out too, World War I, that he did. Probably more than one.
It makes you wonder whether he's back of his mind he's set himself the task of drawing a biplane from every possible angle.
Oh, he's probably got it in his head, and he's probably got models sitting around the studio.
Look at that top right one there underneath it. Look at it. How good is that?
Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And some of his EC work I think this is really a step below some of his EC work that I've seen. Just beautiful. Because a lot of this is pretty, to me, it's a little stale. You've got the head over here on the side. This was they probably added the lettering after he did the illustrations.
Yeah,
that's why you've got a lot of this empty space here, and he wasn't sure exactly where stuff was going to fall.
Look at that face there. His face, it was my own. Look at that on the other page, next page in the middle. That one, yeah. Look at that face.
Yeah.
And then that great view in the panel directly underneath it, looking down into the cockpit. Wow.
Does have some phenomenal angles. Uncle Creepy there at the end.
With the flying helmet on.
Before Cousin Eerie, yeah.
Oh, what a scene setter that is. Look at
invitation.
I have a word.
Look at that.
That's crazy.
It's a real sort of a Karloff Frankenstein type of mood, isn't it? You know that is it what's he called, the guy, James Whale?
Yeah, beautiful.
And the way they've done where they've written the lettering on the curve as well at the bottom.
It's all line work there. Yeah.
So we begin the hair raiser I call the invitation. Oh, come on. Are those
Invitation.
bats or the leaves?
Smoke. I think there's a bat. It almost looks like a bat there.
Yeah.
It's probably cobwebs.
Look at that.
There's a
Oh,
spider web
yeah.
here. Just beautiful detail. You could stare at it. It's all line work too.
Yeah. Like you say, it'd take hours to just look at it, wouldn't it?
There's no gray tones in there or anything. And there's all this detail down here in the corner.
Is that the chandelier there?
This is a cross beam in the house.
Yeah, and the chandelier is next to it on the left, where your finger is now.
Right there, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at that. Wow.
And I don't see an artist signature on this. And the style, I don't recognize.
No.
Just beautiful work.
What was? Oh no, it's not that.
Line work here.
Is
There are
that
no
Alfred
gray
E. Newman
tones in
bottom
this at all.
left? Alfred E. Newman bottom left.
Right there.
Yeah. It's Alfred E. Newman's cousin.
Some guy. Yeah.
Look at that. It's fabulous, isn't it?
This could be Mastrian Tomo, because I'm not familiar with that name. I don't recognize that style at all. And back then, if it was Davis, it would just come out screaming. But whoever did it knows pen work, knows cross-hatching work. Like the back of their hand, knows how to achieve gray tones with lines. It's just beautiful work.
Those folds on that girl's leg in the bed.
In here.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Yeah.
Is that lettering on the board, do you think, or has it been added?
No, it looks like it was put in.
Right.
I'm not sure how that would work. I'm pretty sure they put in the lettering after the illustrations.
It's very wordy, isn't it?
It'd have to be pasted in if it was. I can't see that happening, though, especially with the large blocks here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not quite sure how they worked on this.
But at least it's hand lettered. It's not typed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, very much so. Yeah. It's all hand lettered. Hugo Boris, good Lord. You two are vampires.
Do you know who it might be? Just stop. You know that? See that face there where your thumb is? That face, that girl's face on the right-hand page?
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, that one as well. I think that might be Steve Ditko, you know. Look at that. Look at that.
No. That's not Ditko at all. No.
It's not his usual style, but if you look at the faces.
He's in this, but
right, okay.
That's not his work. God, it's like right there, but it's not Ditko. If it's Ditko, he did pencils on it. That's not. I don't think that's.
Well, it's always possible, and then
anything's
with their own style.
Yeah. Anything's possible at this point on this stuff. Just beautiful.
It's just fantastic. I think that's Steve Ditko. I don't know. There's a lot going on there with Ditko for me.
Yeah.
I'm probably wrong, but it looks like it to me. Those noses and that because that looks like that girl there with knock on the right, like I said, on the right hand on the right hand page. Yeah, that to me looks like a sort of a Gwen Stacy type of Ditko drawing. I'm probably wrong.
That's possible. I looked earlier for a signature on this story and I couldn't find it.
Right.
It's usually on the main header on the splash page. There's a signature somewhere, but if you put it, oh, there it is. Nope. Here, lift it up. It almost looks like it. Let me switch glasses here. Get the old bifocals on. Nope, it's not. I thought there might have been a signature down here, but there isn't. Yeah, I'm not seeing one anywhere. If anybody knows who that is, let us know in the chat or the comments. Beautiful stuff, though.
Yeah. Here is Loathsome Law. I just love those poses that they have these poor women in before they get murdered.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is back during Hammer films were out.
Yeah.
During this
Why would you
period.
kill anybody who look like that?
Amen.
Look
Wow,
at the way on that.
this-
On that previous page. Look at the bottom under the legs, the way they left that white out. Is
Yeah.
that? Do you think there should have been some like next issue Spider-Man in there?
They might have left it for a picture of Cousin Eerie.
Yeah.
saying
That's
something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rush, you were going to say.
I was just, they were just sticking their chests out quite a lot.
I know.
Yeah. Ah!
Very, very nice.
His face top left.
Expertly done.
Yeah, his face top left. This is great. Love that.
Yeah. Again, what is that? That is line work. That looks like trying that Zipatone dual shade almost. Painted in. It is in lines though. Yeah, it's what this part here looks like. It's dual shaded. Or a dark ink wash. No, there's definitely dots in there. One pager. The back page, very quickly painted or pasted together.
That's that
Eerie
on the
too.
right. That's the cover
Yeah.
of the 2009 edition of this book.
Okay.
That's what the cover. That's the cover.
That's
they've got on it.
well, of course, I'm going to use a Frazetta cover for that
Yeah.
collector's edition. All new Terror Tales in the creepy tradition. 35 cents cheap.
You're not wrong.
Again, a Warren publication. Great. Welcome to Erie. That's probably the first appearance of Uncle or Cousin Erie right there. Uncle Creepy.
He's an unsettling chap.
Yeah. Got each pulsating page of this collector's edition of Gasp Eerie. And then it says, "Don't let Fatso fool you." Oh dear.
Cover for Zeta, lettering Ben Oda. Eugene Colin, Reed Crandall, Jack Davis, Frazetta, Gray Morrow, Joe Orlando, John Severin, Jay Tacey, Angelo Torres, and Alex Toth this issue.
God, what a lineup.
There's a lineup. So I want to go through this.
I like the way that Gene Colan is called Eugene in this. His full name in probably the most least accepted piece of his work. Do you understand what I mean?
I think he started out signing his stuff Eugene.
I'm wondering because it had Wallace Wood at the start. I'm wondering if that's just the editors hamming it up.
Well, we should have Francis Frazetta then.
Oh, right, yeah. I
And
suppose
John Davis.
Yeah.
Eugene
Jack,
Colan.
Frank Frazetta, Gray Morrow, Joe Orlando.
Angelo Torres as well.
I honestly think that he started out calling himself Eugene, just got it cut down to Gene during the Marvel days.
It's a very Marvel thing, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll have to check the EC books because Gene Colan got his start over there in the EC books. Gaines, he's a discovery of Gaines. Volume 2. Complete collection of horror and monster movies.
Look at that.
Do you know what the best thing about these pages is that they're those big sizes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Didn't we see somebody working on when we did the Mad? We saw somebody working on one of the pages, and it was huge. It was big as his drawing board.
Yeah,
I
pulled up.
They're working on A2, aren't they?
Yeah,
by the looks of it, and like Prince Valiant was all done on that size.
I don't think it was quite that big. I don't think it was as big as Foster's.
Here we go.
I do think it was smaller. The Golden Age original that I had was probably, I would say, 6 inches shorter in both directions.
What's that? It's like that sheet there
Yeah,
actually looks bigger than A2
that
to
looked
me.
bigger than A2 to me. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, these are huge. If you ever
Yeah.
see, I tell everybody, if you ever see these in a museum, they are
Yeah.
big.
Imagine we've all done this as artists. You've got to put something on that blank page, and it's really intimidating. Well, these guys had their pages were twice as big, they're twice as intimidating. But look at the rain on that. Look at the rain on that.
Yeah, there's no way that was done on an A3.
No, this is Reed Crandall. No, it's
Okay.
probably 14 by 20, probably.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had a piece of Golden Age artwork that we didn't know who it was. I ended up selling it for quite a bit because it honestly looked like it was Steve Ditko inked by Joe Kubert.
Wow.
And it was from a Charlton book called Conga. And it had a real obvious Ditko face, but the inking wasn't quite right on it. It looked like Kubert. And we weren't sure. There wasn't any, I couldn't find any record of who did it. And I had the page for years. And when I needed to pay some bills,
Fair enough.
had to sell it. But I've got a couple of stories like that.
We've all got those.
I wish I'd hung on to, just like everybody's got that. My mom gave away
Yeah,
my
yeah,
comic
yeah.
story.
Yep.
Yeah. This is all line work. There's no gray wash here. It's done by the great Reed Crandall. Again, coming out of book illustration work and EC.
Fabulous, isn't it?
Wasn't
Look
he was an Eisner apprentice, if I'm not mistaken. He
I
was
don't know.
did a long run on Black Hawk, if I'm not mistaken,
Look how tight
after
that little,
Eisner left.
look how tight that little wagon is, them wheels.
Yeah.
Fabulous,
Just
isn't
amazing. Everything here is just, you can see he's just a craftsman.
it?
All the
It's
line
interesting that you said from book and advertising. They're obviously illustrators, aren't they, rather than
Yeah.
comic book artists.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, look at that rain. That train.
Well,
Smoke coming from that train.
so many of them
Pulp.
were
Pulp.
illustrators. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the difference between so much artwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pulp magazine illustration as well would do that, a lot of that. Only
Yeah.
it would be lost because it was printed on such cheap paper. You know, Virgil Finlay, it's a great example. Guy who
Yep.
did a lot of pulp illustration work. That's just beautiful work. Later ended up getting great art books of his stuff because when you print on that newsprint, there's so much detail you can lose. But here again, just there's Wrights and Frankenstein right there.
Yeah. No line on the top
Without
of
a doubt.
Frankenstein's body.
No
So-
outline on the bricks. No, it's just masterfully done. It's the only way to describe it. Reed Crandall at his best. Look at that shadow here. Just beautiful. That entire panel. Simple but amazing. All of the line work on this. They knew they were in black and white, weren't going to get in colors, so they were going to.
I think that's the
Make
thing.
it
It's
as-
like if you, because we're obviously talking about our book as well. If you set yourself that end goal and say, we're not colouring this.
Yeah.
This is going to be black and white, and so we need to fill the spaces or let the spaces sing with whatever it is you do with it.
Yeah.
But it's focused on being black and white.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's and it means that it almost gives you an excuse, or it gives you permission as the artist to say, right, okay, I know what I've got to do with this now. I'm going to fill those details in. I'm going to put those. I mean, look at the floor, top right hand panel.
Yeah.
Just the floor. Just look at the floor.
Yep.
Yep.
And it gives, instead of saying, right, okay, I'm going to put the edges in, and I'll flick
Yeah.
in some bits and pieces, and then we'll have the color over the top, and possibly the colorist might put some texture in there and what have you. No, I'm doing the whole lot with a pen and a brush. Bang.
Fabulous,
and there's something pure. I feel there's something pure about that.
And these archive books are so important to have done this because you can see all of that line work, all of that detail here on nice, bright white paper.
Yeah.
Where before all of this stuff
Yeah.
was printed on cheap newsprint as well.
Well,
The
I mean, I love
magazines
the
were-
essentials, but the
Yeah.
paper is not
Yeah.
the greatest quality.
Well,
but you get at least get an idea about the ink lines and about what you're looking at. But the presentation books are the best ones.
For me,
I think you're looking at two different power sets here as well, because those Marvel books, those Essentials, those guys were comic book artists who knew they were there to tell a superhero story.
Yes.
And like you said before, these are illustrators that come out of a hardcore illustration background doing sequential work and doing their best to fill in, knowing that it's not going to be in color.
Yeah, but it's great to have that have that knowledge at the start of your project, at the start of whatever you're doing, to know, right, where's this going? What's the final destination for this? And that's why those essential books with people, inkers like Joe Sinnott and what have you, they're just so wonderful, because you get an insight into the way that they put that together, because they thought they were going to have colors on those all the time, colored books. But these are just this is, from an illustrator's perspective, this is how it's going to end up. This is the final thing. This is what I lay down on the page is what you're going to see in the book. There's not going to be anything added to it. And it's just a different approach when you're doing a comic strip.
You see a lot of Bernie Wrightson in this.
I was about to say, Bernie
a lot of
Wrightson.
Kyle Holtz, a lot of these guys that work like this nowadays. Right. That they were influenced by Crandall and by Krinkle and the other EC guys that were just kicking out illustrative work like this.
For me, the only way that could be improved, not the artwork, but if they would, you see the previous page where the panels are open, I think it would have looked better if all the panels were open, didn't have that hard frame.
Yeah.
Like on the top left there, when he's walking down the street, there's no frame. That's just a preference for me, but I'm not criticizing the artwork. You can't.
It's amazing what a thin line will do, though.
Yeah. But I just think it would look,
contained.
for me, it would just look better.
Oh, yeah.
That's just me.
Getting into a little bit harder blacks here.
He's thinking the same way, the artist. He's thought, why am I drawing these borders around? I'll just leave it open for a while.
Yeah, I mean, that middle panel. You see, I personally, I think what he's done there is he's opened the panels up for a memory.
Yes.
He's telling his memory, and that's why the panels are open.
That's right.
And I think that technique is a fantastic technique.
It's a device. It's very good. Yeah.
It's a great device. You're right. Yeah, it's the word, Glenn. Device. It's a device, storytelling device, and it works because it picks the panels out. So, for instance, if you're doing a color book, you can run a sepia tone over it.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, or something like that, and you can change the difference. But doing this, you don't need anything else. The artist, once again, black and white. That's the focus. What you put down on the page is what's going to be printed. And look, instantly, without reading it, we knew that there was something different about these panels.
Yeah.
The pace had changed. There's no border, and then on top of that, of course, it's instant. You can look at it. Obviously, people who understand comic books, who read them a bit more than just people who don't. But it wasn't instant recollection. It was instant to me that must be a memory scene.
Yeah, if that was when's this, mid-60s? If this was DC, those panels would have been like bubbles, wouldn't they? Like you see a lot of Superman like that. Yeah,
like and Marvel ended up doing, because I've done it myself in Only Death Can Save Us, using rounded corners.
Yes.
On as memory panels. Yeah.
You know, we were saying earlier about these are obviously produced. This artwork is produced to be printed in black and white. But I think there's some thinking behind that as well. I don't know about money, but they set the mood as well. These are moody pieces, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They're gloomy, aren't they, and somber. Yeah. And if they're in full garish colours with brilliant paper, it wouldn't work.
Well, that's why what Randy and I are talking about. That's why I think there's an opportunity here, because black and white as in black and white film. It's like it's being picked out every now and then. Over the last few years, you've seen these black and white movies come out, and they're poignant, and they set a fantastic mood.
That's why Schindler's List was so good.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, done on purpose,
On purpose, And I
had the feel of an old documentary during that period too. Yeah.
Looking at this particular set of artwork, I mean, all of it's wonderful, all of it's inspiring, but this is this is doing things for me.
Yeah,
This
Look at the
really
light
is.
source.
The
The
lighting.
light source here.
Yeah, the
Blasting
lighting
out
in this.
everything.
Look at the light
Yeah.
in that middle panel on the left page.
yeah,
Look at the light on the left-hand side of his face.
yeah.
No, on that one,
the other
yeah,
side.
but the one on the left, that
Yeah.
one.
Here.
The light. So
Oh,
he's opened up the panel so you can put in the text,
Yeah.
and then the light is affecting him in that.
Again,
No,
here.
no, on the I mean that's a great one, but that one on the middle left and the left-hand page, that's just stunning, absolutely stunning.
Yeah. It's just a beautiful page right there.
And that girl running out the door.
Ah! What have you done, Doctor?
It's a
What
great
is it on
shot here.
Young Frankenstein?
Scientist.
Rumor. Woo!
Terry
so
Gowan,
funny.
she starts singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put on the ring.
It's been a long time since I watched that movie too.
One of the greatest movies of all time.
What a hump.
What hump?
Yeah.
You know, I can
What
help
hump?
you with that hump. I'm a doctor. What hump?
Yeah.
Marty Feldman.
Oh, dear. Ain't got nobody.
What a nice set of knockers on the door.
Oh God.
Oh, and poor Terry Gar's not well now, is she? Well, that's another story.
Everybody ages.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
not been well for a while, though.
No.
Look at that. Oh. Then we're in the pub. Look at those. What do you call it? It's for that beer, Russ. Bottom left.
Sorry?
Bottom left.
Oh,
What they call- the beer pumps.
yeah,
How,
yeah.
how good are they?
They're good, aren't they? And the reflections in the bar. As well.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Real
could
ale.
almost see that guy on the left. You could almost imagine he's got his whippet down behind the bar. Hey, don't you see my whippet? I've just come down from Pigeon Coop.
Look at
Brilliant.
that. That's
Love it.
fantastic.
I don't know if they've got any haunted castles in Yorkshire.
Yeah,
Classic.
I have no idea. And
No.
it says, "You daft." There's a great bloody thunderstorm.
It does actually. Are you daft? Hey, that is British. There's no doubt about that. You daft. There's a great bloody thunderstorm outside. My whippet is soaked.
I'm putting down my trousers.
The ferret's not happy. Sorry, it's turned into the Brits. The Brits have invaded this show. Nobody understands what we're talking about, Glenn.
I know. this Frankenstein guy can talk. Byron, get these
Yeah.
straps off. I'm alive. It works.
I'm
It works.
alive.
Do you remember James Whale? What's he called? What's the actor called? It's alive.
It's alive.
Yeah.
Did anybody see Van Helsing? That was like 2008 or something. It's,
Long time ago. Yeah.
the one with
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
in there. I was in hysterics the whole time through that movie. It was just so bloody funny, and the Frankenstein guy in that was. He'd obviously come from the overacting school. Fantastic.
It's a beautiful feathering here, there.
Yeah, this Frankenstein, this monster's a bit sort of, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a man about town. He's a sailor. We'll just get him laid. He'll be fine.
Just stare at that for a couple hours.
This just. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's Colin Clive, the guy, isn't it? It's alive.
It's
Yeah.
alive.
Look at that. Out of my way.
Look at that face there.
That's-
The top right, the middle panel.
Yeah, yeah.
Top right page there. Look at
Just-
that.
Just go back to the page that it says at the top of this page, left, not leave it top left.
Here.
This one. Look at what he says, like Doctor Doom. Out of my way, your puny weapons don't bother me.
I am Doctor Doom. Why are his eyes too close together? What's that all
That
about?
face is fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah, that face on the right hand side. It's
Yeah.
like the lighting in that
Yeah.
one panel is stunning.
We've gone from Reed Crandall to Angelo Torres here.
Wow.
Look at that one. Look at that where he's being zapped in the middle section. Yeah, look at that. Oh,
still looking at this. There's so much. I see so much Bernie in this.
yeah.
So much of his Frankenstein work right there. You know, he was looking at all of this.
He must
material.
have seen this book.
Yeah.
He must.
Oh yeah, he ended up working for Warren here like a year or so after this book. So after this issue was out, in a real early numbering, I think he did a lot of work for them. Angelo Torres again. Thought balloon. You don't see those very often anymore.
Yeah, you do in my book.
I like the way the circles on the balloon on his jacket mixed with the jacket in his shirt. It's great, isn't it? Just it's a design thing. Fabulous. Make it part.
I love thought bubbles.
Yeah,
I love them.
thought bubbles rule.
Yeah, they're peculiar to comic books. They're peculiar to comic book art and storytelling. You don't get them. You get inner monologues in novels, of course you do, but you don't get them in the way that they interact with the action in comic book storytelling. And when they decided that they weren't, they thought it was a bit old hat and they didn't want to have thought bubbles anymore. That is bloody stupid, because it's such a great storytelling tool.
Yep.
Because it gives you insight into the characters.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
Well, about that time, you got away from the inner narration thinking of that was a device on a lot of the soap operas.
Yeah,
we've watched Dark Shadows just recently, and they do a lot of that, where it's like that commercial, where they just look at the camera and the voice is running in their head.
But you see, I on film, I find that very strange.
Johnny never asked for fish at home. Yeah, that
Oh dear.
That was a great. Did you watch Fleabag, Russ?
No.
Oh, you've got to watch that. She does that. She talks to the camera. She breaks the fourth wall. She talks
I don't
to the
mind talking to the. I like talking to the camera. I like breaking the fourth wall, but having the inner monologue. Yeah. I don't like that in film, because it's like I can't. If film is a presentation, effectively, it's a presentation of reality via the screen. Yeah, like they're physical things. I don't think it would be so bad if it was on a cartoon, but because it's on film, it's like, well, I can't read other people's minds. Why am I reading this person's mind?
Right.
And it's difficult. Whereas in a comic book, it's okay because it's exploratory, and of course, it's a comic book. I suppose, much like I said, I wouldn't mind it so much in animation. I don't know. I just have a thing about it, and fish.
In my mind, nobody breaks the fourth wall better than Robert Hayes in Airplane, where he looks at the camera and goes, ain't this a pisser?
Classic stuff.
How do you like your coffee?
Exactly. It's all humor. You couldn't get away with anymore.
No. One for D-Money. What's all that about? Oh, it's demon, isn't it? Right, sorry.
Demon,
No trouble reading this morning, Glenn.
Well, no, I was thinking something else. Anyway, look at the lovely ink on that smoke and those folds. The
unbelievable line work here is just phenomenal. Yeah. How to do all of these line weights, the solid blacks to the thin lines, to just bury things into the cross hatching in the back. That could have all been filled in black very easily, but no, the artist took the time to do all of this beautiful cross hatching work with a pen.
No,
this here is just an amazing panel.
Just think now you could do that at the click of a button.
Yeah.
No, I don't want it.
You got to know how to do it. You got to know how to click that button.
I'm telling you now, physical artwork in the next 20 years is going to increase in value.
Oh, it already is.
No, but I mean, it will radically, because there will be so many people. There will be so many people doing AI and digital stuff and claim not so much digital tools, because I appreciate digital tools, but the digital tools are the digital tools in themselves are increasing the value of physical artwork, simply because from a production perspective, it's easier not to have physical artwork anymore. Okay. So it makes it rarer. That's just a physicality. But the AI stuff is actually going to be a situation where people who are looking for artwork, not the general public. The general public don't give a monkey's. Okay. But the people that are looking for artwork will be like, right, well, okay, I really love this. This is sold really well or whatever. It's like, oh, but it was AI. Oh, I'm not interested in it then. Where's the real artwork? And it's that it will create a scarcity, it will create a rarity, especially for the good stuff. And I think it's going to go up even more. I think
a lot of the stuff like this is incredibly hard to.
And I also think you are going to find people, because what people tend to forget is that although we'd love to have everybody and their mum reading comics, the fact is that just like everything else in this world, not everybody likes everything. Right. Okay. All right. Sometimes it's mostly boys. Sometimes it's mostly girls. Sometimes it's mostly different demographics. But that's the way of life. Okay. So you're never going to have 100% of people reading comics. It's always going to be a percentage of people who kind of like comics. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the vast majority of those people are going to know whether this has been created by a person or by an AI.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And it will make a difference to whether you sell the book or not. I'm sorry, but that's just the nature of it's the nature of the beast. The whole point is it's a visual medium that people love. The whole creation process of it. You can't tell. There's not one comic book fan that I have ever met, whether they're artistically endowed or not, who hasn't marveled over artwork and story creation. Not one of them. They all love the process.
Yeah.
Whether they're involved in the process or not, it's magic. It's a magic thing. And if you just say, "Oh, machine did it," they won't be interested.
No.
I'm sorry. The vast majority of comic book buyers won't be interested in it, whether it's good or not. So, I see that real physical artwork there's another boom coming for it.
Yeah.
And stuff like this, if you can draw like this, your artwork is going to be even more, expensive,
in demand. Yeah,
and in demand. Yeah, I mean, this is just beautiful.
After watching the Mad Show, I went crazy on the backgrounds. Can't imagine what I'll do after this one.
You'll be getting an axe after this one.
Yeah.
You want to do a horror anthology, Randy? I'm in.
So sometimes I look at these pages and you just think, well, where's my backlog of work? I'll just stick that in a skit.
Yeah. Blown away by the detail. It's insane. Yes, it is. It's beautiful. You don't this kind of work though anymore. I see a lot of European influence in there too. A lot of the Bernelli books, the guys that are really stylized, who know how to ink and how to control a great black and white page. You see that a lot.
But again, I mean, we talk, Miles talking about detail there.
Screaming.
You look on the right-hand page here. Okay. All right. He's put a whole bunch of cross hatching in. All right. On that middle panel. Okay. And also on the bricks on the left-hand side. Yeah.
Yep.
That's like using a tone. So they've manually created a tone with their pen. All right. Yep. But if you actually say go down to the bottom two panels there, we're back to economy of line.
Yeah.
You look at that bottom right hand panel.
Hardcore silhouette here.
And tell me there isn't, and in his face and the folds, and tell me there isn't economy of line in that panel.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's why these things stand out.
But
that's why certain artists jump, because of their ability to understand the balance between the amount of line you need and don't need.
To be able to control that, to push and pull in the inking stage. It's just, this is all little line work back here. This isn't any gray tone. This is all cross-hatching line. Here, there's no gray tone on this at all.
No. But again, it's like
solid blacks up against thin white.
Yeah. But again, even though there's so much of that, it's still economy of line. They've only used it where it's required.
Right.
It's absolutely nailed it. But fantastic page. Absolutely fantastic page.
And again,
Look at that car.
It's Doctor Who's car right there.
Damn it, that car. Look at the absence of line.
Yeah.
How the lighting has been created.
Mhm.
Just beautiful. And the lighting in all of this story is just top notch.
Yeah. Conjuring scene here. Yeah, just phenomenal. Also, great double light source. You've got a light source coming in from this direction. Got a light source coming in from that direction. This back wall here is solid with just a few white line detail.
Russ, have you heard of an artist, British artist called David Wright?
No.
Well, I'm going to show you when we're probably off air because we're looking at this. I'll show you some stuff. It's very much like this.
Right.
And I'll show you some later.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably need to move faster on this.
Yeah.
There's so much more to look at.
We always need to move fast.
I know. Look at those blacks on this.
Look at
What a
that.
great,
Yeah.
straightforward advertising panel right there.
Yeah. It's fabulous, isn't it?
It is.
One, this is just
Here,
Look,
amazing.
line work, bringing the composition down to this guy.
we're going to have to do a Frank Bellamy as well. He was the master of black and white.
Oh, absolutely.
Light and shade.
I now have to buy this book.
Yeah.
I do a Garth book, but I've got a little thin reprint of Bellamy's Garth, but you have to be careful every time you turn the page for a breast to pop out.
Woohoo!
Yeah, woohoo.
Life's great.
Yeah.
I just love that brushwork where where you're pointing there.
Oh, that smoke work, yeah.
Yeah, that lovely brush. It's just loaded with ink, isn't it? You can and the bricks to the left as well, where he's kneeling down. Or the other side, or the page. Yeah, the bricks there. It's just loaded. Brush is just loaded.
Yeah. Have that hard brickwork here, but a nice graduated cross hatching right here on the other side.
Yeah,
just to bring just like this to show a light source. Just amazing. And then some really thin line work here on this brickwork.
Look at the way he's dragging him with his legs on top left. Top left page, left on page.
Yeah.
There, yeah. He's dragging him, holding his feet or his ankles. And then look at that top right next page there where the demon's at the door.
Yeah.
Look at that. Bang. Death. Don't con me, pal.
Judging from that scream, Fright fans, I'd say the chalk line isn't the only thing that got rubbed out. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some reading to do. Just found a wonderful old book. Don't need anything more than the face and the head. Another great Warren ad.
Oh, something that reminds me, that Boris Karloff advert there, the mummy. Apparently, I might be wrong on this again because I usually am. You're not allowed to say, not allowed to call them mummies anymore.
Oh,
what?
They're called something like previously deceased kings of Egypt or something.
Why can't you call them mummies?
Because somebody's upset about it.
Yeah, somebody got triggered, said it was disrespectful. Somebody looking for attention. They're still.
Hello.
They'll always
Take a
be
look
mummies.
at the farm where all of the shits I have given have been taken.
Yeah, that's right.
Here is
I have reaped them all.
Jay Tacey. Now, I don't know why he didn't sign his actual name to this. Look at that. Funeral scene, the difference.
Probably because he was working for somebody else.
Solid whites could be. Yeah. Who'd we say he was?
Was it Johnny Craig?
Oh, it's not Johnny Craig. I don't think. Yeah, it could be. Could be. Beautiful line work.
Yeah, Johnny Craig.
Merciful here. There's a body, or there's a body back here.
That reminds me of that
Standing.
that sequence in Watchmen where they're burying the comedian with that.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
The music in that film.
Go again.
Yeah, it's fantastic. That film's one of the best films. Certainly
Yeah.
one of the best adaptations because it's just
Yeah.
like the comic. Apart from a couple of things they left out, like the freighter and all that kind of thing.
Honestly, it was miraculous. He squeezed as much of the story
Yeah.
into the small amount of time that it was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it pretty much. You know, I know you're gonna hate me now. I see it much like the Lord of the Rings. You can't put everything in. There's no way you're gonna put everything in.
He tried 9 hours.
Yeah. But you know, but it's a much longer book than Watchmen. So there's no way you're going to get everything in. But he did a great job. I could never understand why anyone would dislike it, even though he had to leave stuff out. It was...
When they announced they were doing Watchmen on HBO, I went, yes, they're going to do a full story on it. It's going to be beautiful. It'll be phenomenal. No, it's all it takes place after. Oh, it just
was crap.
What?
See that where you on the bottom left hand panel, Randy, is that guy signing that book?
Yeah.
Is that a wash on the bottom of his chin and face? Is it a wash? It looks very like his coat. It looks like a wash. So I'm presuming it's the shadow is.
I honestly can't tell.
I think it is.
It looks like washes
put my
to me.
bifocals on and
Again, this is beautiful work.
If you look on that door and everything, it's definitely a wash.
There's a tone to it. Yeah. There's a tone
panel.
to it, but it doesn't. It's too solid to be Isn't it too solid to be a wash? No, maybe not, because there's some.
I think it's all wash.
Tone down here. Could be wash, yeah. Doesn't look like it though. There almost looks to be a pattern to it.
Yeah.
Especially here. Look at that. The way he combined it with the hair. That's got to be duo shade board on a tight line. Duo shade board. That's what that's got. That was painted in.
I don't know. That's a hell of a cut.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It looks like a
brush.
No, it's not. No, dual shade board is a board that has two dot patterns embedded in light blue, and then you take chemical and you paint it on.
Right.
All right. Yeah, but it's done with a brush.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You have two different shades of chemical, or two different levels of chemical. And one is a darker tone and the other has a lighter tone.
Right.
That's what this
Okay.
looks like.
Well.
There's a little bit of that back here where he tried to put.
He's got a hell of a nose. Look at that.
Yeah,
look at the expression on the left-hand page, bottom panel, where he's writing, and he's got his finger on his nose. Look at the expression on that face, the way he's writing, where you've just under your finger. That's it. Yeah. Incredible, isn't it?
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
These are masters, aren't they?
Oh,
they are. That's why I wanted to go over this book. Yeah.
The lighting, once again, the lighting is what really. I mean, that top right panel, it's all in fire.
And here we're looking at artists that majority of the kids that are going to watch this video have no idea who Angelo Torres is or Reed Crandall, very little idea. And we might get into some Gene Colan and some Alex Toth as we go along, but look at this stuff.
Do you know what really makes me
accomplished?
What really makes me sad is when people say it's before my time.
Yeah, isn't that a shame?
Like nothing happened before they were born. You sad people.
Look at the command this artist has over blacks and the capabilities to ink, to just use a few, knowing where to put the thin lines,
and Russ,
thicker lines and the solid blacks. Just amazing.
Russ, you mentioned his nose. Look at that. Look at the lighting on his nose there, just above your right on the left. That one.
That was the one I was looking at. It's like wow.
It looks like it should have a piece of string. You should pull it, back, pull it.
Jimmy
off.
This whole thing is amazing light source.
And look at the thickness of the line when we're talking about the hair, the center panel where he's shouting "Arise." Yeah. Look at the thickness on the line on that nose.
Yeah. He's not messing about, is he?
It's enough to leave the dual shade out to pop the wart without having to draw it. Yeah.
Yes.
And just that panel, just with the brush work here, and the beautiful line work there. That was probably all done by brush.
The thing is, you see, is that even though we've discussed sort of the economy of line, every panel is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
There's something going on you can look at. And
Oh, yeah.
the hands on
That's-
where the nose is and everything. It's just
That's all
brilliant.
part of the dynamics. This is what Kirby really brought out for superhero stuff in the 60s. Is every panel has got that angle to it. It's got a movement to it. That's part of the dynamics and wonder of comics. You know?
Look at that.
Now we're switching. Are we switching artists?
Oh,
No.
the muscles in her back.
No, it's just the same.
Look at that.
Look at that. The casual
Same story,
musculature in her back.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Fantastic.
And then when she's laying down there, can I say this? Her chest isn't too big.
No.
No, it's,
You know,
it's
it's re-
natural.
it's real.
Yeah, it's real. It's real without being real. It's fantastic. That's why comics are so great.
Yeah.
You know, that's the appeal of a lot of the blonde bombshells. Your Marilyn. Marilyn's not too big. She's just right. You know?
Yeah. And one of the best things about comics is that
Curves.
everything is in focus.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a great panel here as well. Going up them stairs. Flame Fiend.
Oh no.
Now we're going to get into some of the gray tones of gray marl.
Oh, look at that.
But here, look at that light source.
Yeah.
He looks like Peter Parkerish, doesn't he?
Mm.
Almost, yeah.
Look at that. Look at that panel above that face, the way she's looking at him.
Mm.
Yeah, the way she's looking at him. The look on that face. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. Flame Fiend by Gray Marl.
It's
Master
those
of the gray
flames.
tone. Yeah. It's
Oh,
beautiful. right here as well.
Oh, bloody
look at that!
hell.
Look at that face there at the bottom. Look at that.
Look at that face. That's great.
Yeah.
And here, up the angle there, it's amazing.
Wow. And the way that panel there, with the pipe, the guy on the right hand side going into the gutter. They've added, you know, the panel that it continues. That panel continues from the first one because it's the same
Yeah,
wall.
same panel.
Right.
That lighting on that panel. Good God.
It's a phenomenal inset here.
Wow.
And the detail on the building.
Yeah, look at that.
The close up of the face here, just the blood, just amazing. I imagine that's blood.
Yeah, I think it is.
What the devil? And again, this
That bottom right,
light line work, knowing when to hit the thin to the thick.
that bottom right panel on the left on page where he's under the blood thing it's a real Kirby shot, that, isn't it, with those New York buildings behind, New York type of buildings behind.
Oh, here you mean?
Yeah, it looks like a real Kirby with all the buildings and everything.
All part of that angle, adding to the perspective.
Yeah.
Here, back here, this is a Zipatone sheet.
Right.
There. This gray splatter tone here with the guys on fire, demon.
He looks like he's on fire as well.
No sense in putting any detail into that paper. It's not important because you're looking over here. Oh,
It's a lamp.
is that lamp?
It's
That's
a lamp. It's a lamp. Yeah.
Sorry.
If just flip back the page to the beginning again. I just want to say about the car on fire. Look at that Varoom. Look how that car that's burning. It's like when you see cars on fire. You know, it's like a blurring of the line of the object. Do you understand what I mean?
It's thin lines here.
Yeah, he just captured that perfectly.
Oh yeah.
It's captured the power of the flame.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at a bonfire or something's really going, and you feel this upward motion. That's what he's got in there.
Yeah.
It's not just fire.
I think he achieved some of that with the dynamic angle of the car too, because that car is lifted up right to the explosion. You can feel it like it's been jostled away from the bottom of the panel line here. Just adds to the dramatic effect.
And the lighting on the people as well. You can hardly see them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shadows back behind. Flame.
Wow. This is just fabulous. Look at that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very healthy.
That arm looks a bit dodgy at the bottom.
It could easily make you
Here.
obsess.
Yeah. Yeah. People with nervous disposition shouldn't look at this because of the artwork, not the content. The artwork.
Yeah, not the content. No.
Yeah.
Just like, if you're an artist,
Yeah.
don't look at this.
Don't go near this.
Don't go near this because it'll just deflate you.
Morrow is coming out of a lot of comic strip work, if I'm not mistaken, on this, because this really, to me, looks more Williamson than it does Gray Morrow on a lot of this work. A lot of the line work, a lot of the brush.
Look at that hair. Look at that hair on that head. With that lovely brush, like you say.
Gray Morrow went on to do a lot of stuff for the DC short story books. A lot of material. And it doesn't look this is beautiful work. I mean, compared to the other stuff that he did.
Something else as well. I was saying earlier about the writing on the outer limits and things like that. They're not. It's not contrived. It's almost like it's real. Do you understand what I mean? It's like I don't know how I can explain it.
That's why they hold up, is because
It's earthy.
it's well drawn, or it's well done. I mean, there's a lot of quality there. You've got actual gifted writers, that are talented writers, skilled writers.
Yeah, and you
know how to do this. Yeah.
You step into a suspension of disbelief immediately.
Yeah.
You don't think, oh, well, you know, you sort of believe, not believe it, but you know, it's real, almost real.
That's why all of that stuff holds up. This stuff holds up. I mean, the clothing and everything dated. Obviously, the stories are still evergreen. The looks are amazing. Yeah, the architecture here, that's really mod right there.
Yeah,
really mid 60s. It just does. That's Rip Kirby right there. That's what that looks like. That looks like the Rip Kirby strip that Williamson and Alex Raymond did.
Ugh,
look at that. God. Again, we've got line and tone work here.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Now, to me, there's a lot of Gray Morrow work later in his career that isn't impressive. But this stuff is just incredible. I mean, it shows that he knows what he's doing.
That top right looks like a Steranko shot, doesn't it? With the guy with the hat on the far side on the right-hand page. That one, it's like a Steranko hand.
Just that dramatic look. That's all. Everything here is cinematic. Again, no one silhouette here in front of the detail. Just beautiful stuff.
And look at the way on that page there, the center, the long center panel on the previous page, the way that wall is pushing those characters forward.
Yeah.
With that crazy design.
We saw that with Crandall in the Frankenstein story.
Yeah.
And here's a couple pictures of a guy walking in the woods, but you don't just get that. You get these great angles. You get these phenomenal, he's just really challenging himself here.
Just go back to the previous page.
The ordinary straight on shot that we always talk about.
Yeah, the top left there. That page there. Yeah, the top left. Look at the no face. There's no face on that guy sitting in the shadows. Top left. Top left. Left on page. Top left. You see him? There's no face where he's sitting on the chair, and he just sees.
Yeah,
he's completely in the shadow. Yeah, it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Again, you have to wonder if that was just fuck it, I'm on deadline.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it. To be fair, I doubt it because it's such a good effect.
Too, but it's.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah, because some of these panels haven't been worked on, like the Steranko panel, so to speak, hasn't been worked on as much as the others.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at the way. Look at that bottom panel there, where he's running into the water, and the water is mimicking the folds in his clothes. Look at that.
This is feeling slightly different from the first couple of pages.
Yeah.
This is very much more black and white, as in graphic. It's very much more graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying. he doesn't seem to be spending as much time on these.
No,
Fighting
no.
a flame demon too. So how do you show that?
He gets around that guy, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I've done it. Reach the brook.
Just the water here.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know to do ovals and that you're going to get a water effect there instead of a stone effect? Just amazing.
Dying of pneumonia.
Always fun. Here's some hands.
Burning up with fever. Hee.
Yes, and the doctors wondered why Murdoch's dying breath was a loud scream. He was pretty hot under the collar. Flaming. Yes. Now for something really fiendish. Try my next serving
Of shrieks.
My next serving of shrieks.
There's that guy there at the end who's talking there. There's a real mad element, isn't there? I know it's not the same people, but you know what I mean. He wouldn't be lost in the pages of mad.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of Davis look in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Might even be Davis.
Yeah, I think it is. If you notice that when the guy appears at the end, like the storyteller guy,
yeah,
the art is different, and I think the artist are told to leave the last panel open. And the previous page before, when I said about the white between his legs, I think somebody's missed that.
A lot of that is clip arted in. Yeah, where they have a standard face of Cousin Eerie that they just paste in with a word.
It does look like Alfred E. Newman, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It keeps it also with so many different artists. It keeps it keeps it consistent, doesn't it? It's a theme.
Here's a little bit of drool for you.
Oh,
Eerie's Monster Gallery.
John Severin. Why am I not surprised?
Kicking ass.
Look at that. Look at those.
That's no way to pick up women.
Look at that cobbled street.
Again, every different type of, or every shade of gray done by black line that you can imagine here. And it really, to me, you really don't see the Severin unless you look really close at it.
Yeah.
You can see it here, maybe a little in the main body, but when you start looking at that background, it's just beautiful.
Yeah. And we've got the Jack Davis school about there with the showing the bottoms of the feet. Oh, it's wonderful.
Right, is that a period piece? Why has he got those loops under his trousers?
It is a period piece.
That's the way they used to wear their trousers, wasn't it?
I wish I had trousers like that. They're great.
You could probably get them.
That's why they had heels on the shoe, though.
Yeah, everybody wore Cubans.
That loop would sit in there and never wear out.
I think we're talking sort of 1880s here, Britain, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we've lost something. People used to dress so much nicer, didn't they? Even werewolves dressed nicely back then.
Yeah, stylish werewolf.
Stoli and Dave in the house. Thanks for watching in. Thanks for being part of the chat, dweebs. BD, hey Marv. Really want to know how much time they took to do a page. A couple of days, a week, day, maybe. A day, maybe two. Why this type of art disappeared? Jaylees, it's not gone, Marvy. There's still a lot of people out there that are drawing like this. You go and you look at your Kyle Holtz's and your Kelly Jones. They're doing stuff like this. Lee's details aren't details for what I've seen lately. Just lots of lines going in one direction. Well, a shame we don't have this anymore. Well, these guys cared. You know, you get up against a hard deadline, especially with Lee. You've seen a lot of Lee's style cheapen over the years.
It comes down to money and deadlines.
And love.
Yeah.
And these people were given, as much as we talk about low level rates, these people were given time to do their job.
And I think you have a bit of a Beatles effect, a Lennon-McCarthy effect on this too. Everybody is trying to outdo the next guy. Yeah. And they're trying to look good, and they're doing their best, and they're making sure that they're making a mark because they know the other guys in there doing their best, and they're also in there making a mark.
I think
He's
it's a
doing
different
beautiful
environment now. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
to be able to give the kind of time that these pages require,
To take that,
you either have to have, you know, money behind you and do something independent, or you have to be like top of the tree, like Jim Lee, where you can say, no, I am going to take that bit longer on something because you're top of the tree. But even then, it's, you know, you're still fighting deadlines.
And like Marv noticed, there's not that love anymore.
No,
a lot of
the
that
love
is
isn't.
gone.
Yeah,
See, the
you're
guy,
right, it isn't there anymore, and it's not
details
there
on
from the
details.
top down. To be honest, is that the companies just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care what's in the content. They just throw it out, and that's the end of it.
See the guy in the background coming out the guy with his arm up. He's shouting, "Stop!" or I'll shout, "Stop again!"
Yeah, exactly.
Stop, you werewolf, or I'll run away.
Look at that. It's great.
And if I don't run away, I may bleed out.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a pinup. That's a page filler.
Yeah.
To even out the print page count. Here comes another story.
Oh.
To pay the piper.
Gene Colan.
Eugene.
Oh my God.
Eugene Colan.
It's just not fair.
Inking his own.
Can that what they done to that girl? The vampire.
Finds gray washes here. Just incredibly cinematic work. You see, it's Gene.
Gene Colan, it's so organic.
And even here, he's not using a ruler.
No, all of his work is so organic.
And it gets really crazier in his later career. He starts moving these panels all over the place.
But it's not just
the
not
gutters
just the panels.
just go crazy.
Look at the flow of his brush, the way that he draws. Just everything is just so.
Have you seen his Nathaniel Dusk?
Oh yeah.
No.
Have you not seen that? Oh, it's his pencils coloured, but coloured with a wash.
That's because when his pencils came in on Nathaniel Dusk, they just looked at it and said, "Fuck, we're not going to get an inker for this. What are we going to do?"
How do you ink Gene Colan? Is he inking himself here?
If I'm not he is. If I'm not mistaken, that Nathaniel Dusk is when he went from Marvel to DC, and that was DC's really first time looking at Colan coming into the office, and them just sitting there going, "Who are we going to get to ink this? We're just going to have to shoot the pencil."
I don't think there's any inker. I remember when he was on Daredevil and Doctor Strange. It was I think it was Frank Giacoia. Frank Giacoia was good on Kirby, but very stiff. Yeah. And it didn't work because he, like Russ just said, his work is so organic and it moves. Yeah. And I think the best inker I've seen on Gene Colan was Klaus Janson, because he had a looseness to his inking style.
Yeah, I'm not keen on Janson.
I
think the best inker I've seen on Colan is Colan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and then maybe Palmer, maybe Tom Palmer.
Yeah,
maybe Palmer inks like Tom Palmer. So, but you get that blend between the two of them. It's that Dracula material is just phenomenal.
It's like seeing Buscema ink his own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's just like, wow. You look at it once and you think, oh, he can't. He's not. Why did he ink himself? Surely X inker is better than that. And then you take a second look, and you're like, oh no.
It's like when you see
brilliant.
When you see Kirby inking himself, it's brilliant. And the only reason that he didn't ink it was because Stan Lee wouldn't let him because he was fast on the pencils.
He needed to be penciling 2 or 3 books a month. Yeah.
Wow.
Same here. They had that time. He had that time, so he did it.
I mean, the some of the finest inking I've seen, you know, from Buscema was the Nick Fury and Wolverine book.
And again, he was allowed to take his time on that. That was a graphic novel.
Yeah, graphic.
All those graphic novels, they gave people the time that they needed.
Bloody Choices is called.
I remember looking at Ron Wilson's Super Boxers and actually being impressed with it. And even though the idea was pretty ridiculous, and I don't hold Ron Wilson's art in a high esteem, but that was a beautiful, beautiful piece of
Yeah.
work. Just amazing.
Wow.
But here again, you're seeing the gray tones balanced against the solid blacks to push and pull your levels in and out. Just amazing. The musical notes knocked out.
Oh, I've got the first printing of this.
Of which?
The
Oh,
Bloody Choices. 1991. There you go.
Cool.
I think good nick as well.
I think I
It's
gotta
such a lovely book.
hold that up.
There you
We'll,
go. This
we'll
is
swap camera around.
some of the best pages. There you go.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Wow.
fantastic stuff.
Look at that.
Yep. Show the
I've never-
cover on that, will you?
I've never seen that.
There you go.
Oh,
Just this back. There you go. Look, that says everything.
Yeah.
fabulous.
I've got one more as well. Sorry, just as a
No
quick
sweat.
aside. Silver Surfer Judgment Day as well, and it's just single. This really affected me. I know other people have done it,
Uh-huh.
but it's
Oh,
one
look at
page
that.
per one panel per page.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Just fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I've got a copy of the Surfer Mobius book,
Oh,
and it's just amazing. We'd look at that, only it's horribly smoke damaged and water damaged, and just yeah. I got some other Mobius that we can look at. And again, here's Gene. Look at that face. Knowing what to ink and when. Now he's really coming out here. You're starting to see a lot more of his later work. There's a lot of that dynamics that you see in Daredevil running through this.
oh, in Dracula.
Yeah, and Dracula.
Yeah.
That guy there, that where you're pointing there, looks like a few dollars more. What's he called?
Clint
Lee Van
Eastwood.
Cleef.
Oh, Lee Van Cleef, yeah.
And that would be out at this time, wouldn't it?
Around then, yeah.
Werewolf.
Werewolf. Yeah. There's Uncle Eerie again. Another ad.
The real rocket zooms high in the sky. $1. Tell Werner von Braun that one.
Now we for something completely different. Here's
Alex
some-
Toth. Oh.
Alex Toth.
Oh,
Simplicity,
look at this.
everything stripped down, and then,
Yeah.
like we say, draw the hell out of it. It's very. This is right when he was probably doing his just starting to do his animation work.
Look at that. Ghoulish, monstrous, gruesome, magnificent.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I wonder if the artists are doing their own lettering because it seems to be different all the time.
This really
I know-
looks like Toth's work, but it says that it was
I know-
lettered by
was it-
Ben.
was it- Was it Ben Oda that was doing some of the lettering earlier on? But they all seem different now. I just wonder if they're doing their own. I hope they are.
I wonder if he's doing it in different styles for different artists.
Could be.
Some of these letterers are. Look at John Workman, for example. We just looked
Yeah.
at his alien
Yeah.
stuff. That's not what he does for Chaikin at all. You know,
So, just why comic strip is specifically not just sequential art, but comic strip
Mhm.
is so damn wonderful.
Mhm.
Is how you can be equally impressed by this and by Colon's work,
Yes. Yeah.
and they're so different.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's still an organic feel to this. I'll give it that. There's still
Oh, yeah.
that organic feel, but there's a bit of cartoony in it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Oh, yeah.
It's far more graphic, as in the way that the physicality of anatomy and human beings are being portrayed.
Yeah.
There's a touch of comedy in the portrayal of people,
Mhm.
and yet it's just as mind blowing. It's you look at it and you're just like, wow, this is just so good.
Yeah.
But it's a
It's
similar
wonderful.
way to when you look at a film director, isn't it? You've got Kubrick and Spielberg and Scorsese, and you can see the what they do, the way
Yeah.
they work it. It's the same
Yeah.
kind of thing.
According to Team Dark, it says Dark Horse is starting up a softcover reprint of these collections.
Oh, good.
So, there we go. This is the type
Wow.
of stuff that needs
Then
to
I'll
be
be
in
in
print.
there.
You need to see this.
Yeah.
There's another 30 quid to find.
Well, yeah. Well, at least it isn't the hardback one. That's $99.
If suddenly you see me doing this kind of art, that's because I've gladly made a deal with the devil.
Ooh, careful what you say.
Why this art disappeared? We went there already. Marv-E. TD. Oh, Team Dark. There we are. More Toth. I've got a lot of examples of Toth. He's one of my favorites. So.
I mean, that's just fantastic stuff.
Oh.
This.
If you like this, you ought to see his drag cartoons that he did for Drag Tunes and Cartoons magazine. Just amazing. Just incredibly simplistic, but just beautiful stuff.
Well, again, it's simple, but it's hitting all the right notes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And look how the lettering is to the angle of the panels on that page.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's great, isn't it?
I mean, look that guy on the right there with his glasses looking up,
Yeah.
and then the shot of him underneath, or both shots of him underneath. You could see the way some illustrators might go to town on the hair,
Yeah.
adding in different kinds of lighting and what have you. And he's again very economical with what he's doing.
That's part of Toth's charm, though, is his simplicity.
And it's just beautiful because everything about it is just hitting the right note.
He's telling the story, isn't he? He's not bothered about that.
And if you look at the top right and the face there in profile and the shadow on the left hand on the guy with the glasses, that's just beautiful shading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that here as well.
Yeah.
Only it's a little lighter because of the light source. Yeah, we'll have to look and see what Dark Horse is doing for these reprints.
I'd love that hardback, but yeah, if I can pick it up for 35, 40 quid.
Yeah. I thought Dynamite was doing a lot of this stuff now. Here's another Joe Orlando story with a white gorilla.
Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom.
What a great
Rawr.
face. What a great face. Look at that expression. Simple.
Pow, pow, quick.
The gorilla you don't take no notice, no guns. I love the guy at the top left. He's got the hat, the pith helmet on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Done in the same tone work too. Orlando might have actually put that up there, only it does look like a Davis face right there.
Yeah, I think it is.
It really does.
Ahead of the game. Boom, 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 boom.
More open here, more comic book looking, actually. Less illustrative. And
yeah,
again,
this is more. Yeah, definitely.
This is Joe Orlando again
Oh.
that did the front story. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a contrast in styles.
Yeah.
Chuck.
Turns out to be a
Swish Chuck.
Harry. Yeah.
Now is he swearing there, or is he being literal? Get this bleeding carcass off me.
Good question.
Very, very much a British term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Well, look at that.
More.
Look at that thick line he's got around.
What a difference from the moody story that we saw earlier.
Yeah.
This is more action.
Yeah.
Orientated.
Quick, gray tones. Probably kick this out a little faster. And now we're in some nighttime, beautiful gray tone work here.
He likes to do people looking to the side.
I would imagine.
Oh,
Zip. No, it's ink wash because there's a variation in tone here. So that is ink wash. That great face. Being attacked by a headless ape.
Where's my head?
There's his head mounted on a wall. That is definitely that is definitely Davis right there.
Didn't you know his head was going to end up on the wall?
You just knew it. Yeah, it was always going to happen, wasn't it?
And again, another Frazetta painting for cover.
Fantastic.
Underwater as well. Look at the bubbles that is that tank.
That's in his first collection. That picture. So is the other cover for number 2. There's Davis again. I would say.
I'd say Davis. Yeah, you can tell by the shoes, can't you?
Yeah. It's always the shoes. Colin Crandall Ditko in this Frazetta, Master Antonio.
Look at that Ditko panel, stands out a mile, doesn't it?
Morrow, Orlando Severin, Jay Tacey again, Angelo Torres,
Johnny Craig,
Al Williamson's credited in this.
Have you got this book, Randy? I'll just hold it up.
Yes, I do. I just ran across that when I was looking for that alien book too. I've
Yes.
got that one and the third one. I don't have the second one for some reason. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous book, this. Flick through it often. And cry.
Yeah, I'm going to say flip through it and weep.
Well, what's especially crazy about those paintings is that it's very much at a Frank Lloyd Wright stage at this. He sees it in his head and it goes right onto the canvas.
Yeah.
And it just boom, and he spends very little time at the easel. I'm sure it's all running through his head beforehand, and he's got it all figured out in his head how he's going to approach it. And he just gets on it and, a couple of hours, boom, done. Just that to me is amazing.
I think that's the genius of people like Kirby as well, because I've said this before. It's a long way from your head to your pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at Angelo Torres again here, Soul of Horror. Look at that vine root work here.
Yeah,
just amazing. It's beautifully done. Again, I see a lot of Williamson in that as well.
Again, just like lighting.
Yeah.
Every time it's the lighting.
Yep.
That makes it.
That's comic strip work, though. There's a lot of comic strip work in the 50s and early 60s that are like this. Very much so.
That's
because they didn't know how big they reproduce those comic strips at. No. So a lot of the solid work is out of that era. Here we go again. Just great stuff.
Look at that top panel there on the left, on the first page. The top panel with that hat. Look at that hat. How good is that?
It's blown
and
out.
If you go right across to the other page, that guy looks like Ilya Kuryakin with a big head, doesn't he? Yeah. Sorry, David McCallum.
He still carries that big head all the way through, too. That's intentional.
That's this island Earth, isn't it?
Yeah. Shall we move through these faster?
Whatever. Yeah, that's Peter Cushing.
Hour mark.
Peter Cushing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, we're at the hour and a half mark. We might have to do another.
Yeah, let's do it. Do another one.
Do another segment of this. Just
what the hell? Don't rush through it. It's such good stuff.
We can end it now if you want to, Randy.
Oh no, let's keep. We'll keep going through this story and then stop it. Actually, we could probably do 2. That'll put us about halfway. This is the 3rd issue.
Right.
They go 2.5 and then 2.5.
Look at that. That lighting on that bowler hat.
His forehead is intentional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lighting on the side of the cottage.
Yeah.
Well, the darkness on the side of the cottage, in the middle panel.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
The carriage work, it's just lines.
Yeah.
It's beautifully done.
And that black bookmarker thing there. Look at that.
Where are we talking?
Bottom left, when the book you got the bookmarker thing, and bottom left, right on page, bottom left, where the books.
Oh, here, yeah,
that bookmarker.
Shadow of the bookmarker, yeah,
it's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, just pretty,
fabulous.
Yeah. Tree work back here.
That cottage is amazing, yeah.
It is. And the interior also just as good.
It's fabulous. Whack. Look at that.
Line work here.
That bowler
feathering
hat
work.
again, yeah. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yep. Knowing how to take it.
Yep.
How to drop it forward or push it up and drop it back. Just beautiful. Smoke here.
Wow. Oh, it's got him in. Oh dear.
Aye.
Chuck.
Chuck. Aye.
Oh no, he's got this island Earth head.
Yeah.
Oh
He's the
no,
baby.
he's a big head.
Oh.
Oh, who's been a naughty girl then?
Oh dear.
And now we get to Williamson.
Oh. Look at those lights, headlights on that car.
Mm-hmm. Look at that car in general. Look at that.
Yeah. That's a real
Yeah.
1958. I don't know what you call an American car, isn't it? Cadillac or something.
That's an old Chevy right there, it looks like. Or an
It's a
old,
man's
Dodge.
car.
Or a coupe, as Americans
Yeah.
would call it.
A coop.
That's what they call them.
Chicken.
Coupe.
You can tell we've tried to draw or to have drawn or tried to draw cars by how much we appreciate what Williamson has accomplished here.
Yeah.
I'm sure he used a photo reference on it. Just gorgeous.
Those headlights are great.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
The lady with a lamp back here. Just enough white. A little bit of white paint struck across here.
That's a credit, isn't it? Art by Williamson, script by Goodwin.
Mhm.
You know, was that Star Wars 15 years later?
Yes, it was. Yep, I've got those books. Phenomenal.
He's a bit unsung, Al Williamson, isn't he? I think.
I don't know. I think he's underappreciated now. Absolutely. I think I told you I sat next to him once at a Chicago show and asked him to do an illustration. He says, I never draw at shows. So I just don't do it. And then I watched his table for him while he went to a panel. And he come back and there wasn't anybody around his table. He goes, hand me your sketchbook. Damn it.
Oh.
I gave him my sketchbook. He didn't have drawing stuff. He had a ballpoint pen, sat there and did a wandering line, just on the page. This is, and then they handed it back to me. Closes here. This is a thank you for watching my table. And it's a picture of Flash Gordon standing on a mountain with a big city in the background.
Wow.
Just incredible. But he did it, 15 minutes tops, just boom, done. And it's gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
There's that cross hatching again at the top.
But here, yeah, and we've got that Secret Agent X9 coming through.
Yeah.
Really hard on this, that whole look, but not afraid to do that. Yeah, like you said, that's all cross hatching. That's all lines. Yeah, that might actually be a zip screen.
Yeah.
Right here, I'm pretty sure it is, and here to show the fog coming through. But just look at that, just stark white and then beautiful brush lines. I'm sure he's using a thin brush at this. Maybe a pen back for the cross hatching here, but a lot of the front work here, the side of the cliff, that's all brush.
Yeah.
And again, line work here, just beautiful. Enough to know solid. Look at the little light reflection here, little halo, just to pull it out.
That ship. Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that water on that ship.
Yeah. It's right there with Hal Foster.
Look at that panel there with his bottle. When he's drunk with his head on the table. Has he got head on? Is his head on the table? Or has he got no head?
Yeah, it's behind the bar.
That man has no head. No, it's back there.
Yeah.
Just the despair in it, though. Just amazing.
Last night.
Look at that. It's all positioned.
I
wonder if he was using any kind of photo reference on
yeah,
this.
I was going to say that on the previous
looks
page.
So,
yeah.
It's just done so well.
Fantastic.
Could be Gil Kane. Who knows? There are a lot of guys that look like that, and a lot of that work during that period. It's a very standard '60s look with the horn rimmed glasses. Eric, and again, cross hatch work. what that is. I doubt there's even any whiteout on that. It's just lines. Lines and solids. Beautiful. I think comics, the Les Daniels book, has another story by Williamson in there about a cartoonist. I think it was patterned after Bob Kane, because it was a guy who had a comic strip that he hired out all of the jobs for and took all the credit. And the guys all meet in a bar one day and they're all boasting about the work that they're doing. They start comparing notes and they're all working on the same strip with a guy who hired them at, low wages to do all that grunt work. It's taking all the credit for their stuff. So
that's unusual for somebody to take somebody else's credit, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't normally happen.
So it all depends upon the person.
Look at that rock, the way the sea is hitting that rock on the top.
Is that gull right there breaking out of the panel border? Yeah. Here you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all line work here again.
Mm-hmm.
Just beautifully done. That's amazing.
Lordy.
Right to the skull.
Dead for 80
skeleton
years.
coming out. Yeah.
Mm.
There's one writer who finally got involved in his work. Personally, I think he was all wet, or at least washed up. Now grab a weird wave and see where my terror tide takes you next. Takes you to this plant. Actually eats insects and bits of meat.
Oh my God!
I want a monster foot.
Carnivorous plant.
That's what every horror kid wants, is a Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
I had one. It starved.
A monster hand or a monster foot.
What about a giant 10-foot rubber snake?
Yeah.
I have monster feet already. I don't
Dracula's own rubber bat. Yes. Absolutely. A giant 10-foot rubber snake. Yeah.
Did Dracula actually
Human
own a
skeleton,
rubber
what
bat?
everybody needs in their man cave. Human skeleton.
Oh, dear.
Great stuff. Should we stop there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or are we
probably.
going to drool? Oh, maybe not.
Oh, Ditko.
There's some...
No, it's tight. It's 5-2. We should stop.
This is a classic story. We'll go into this next episode. This is a
Yeah.
room with a view.
Look
They
at that
talk
mirror.
about there are a lot of people that have talked about this story in the past.
Look at the-
This is
look at the
pure
mirror.
Ditko at his height.
Is that a wash on that mirror? Bottom right. Look at that. That reflection. Yeah. Look at that. Oh.
Sorry, I'm lifting it up to look at it. I believe that looks like it's all line.
Wow.
I'm putting my bifocals on to be sure. There is no gray tone in there whatsoever. That is
Wow.
Mr. A and question. That is
Yeah.
line work
Yeah.
right there.
I've said it before.
Beautifully done.
Doesn't Ditko draw the best folds in clothes in comics? Look at that figure there at the bottom. Standing.
There's
next
a
to
lot. There's a lot that he is understated for. So much. And this is him at the top of his game. I remember reading about this story. This is really classic Ditko that we'll look at next week. We're going to put a fork in it. Actually, we're going to put a napkin in it
Next week, kids.
and mark it. Next week, we'll go into part 2.
Yeah.
So
Fabulous. Just gets better, doesn't it?
isn't it crazy? It does. Dracula was into rubber. Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
it was.
So unfortunately, I won't be able to see the next one live unless I'm injured again. Sorry, Marvy. Wonderful show going back to the SK Sin Killer. That is. I'm
Yeah.
very inspired right now. Thank you for that. See you Sunday. Yep, that's what we love. Why we love doing this. It's for that inspiration and so that we can look at these guys' great works. Russ, cameras at you. Tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. You can find me in the pages of Batman for the European markets out in Italy, France, Germany, UK, and Brazil as well. And you can also find me on the pages of Only Death Can Save Us. Book 2 is currently at Indiegogo, won't be there for much longer. And both books will eventually be re-edited and published by New Haven. You can get the first book re-edited currently all over the place, Amazon, everywhere, globally. And the first book, if you want an original first book, which will never be printed again, you can pick that up at Indiegogo with the second book currently. That's about it. You can go to my Instagram. That's where I post all my art. And if you can, sign up for the email list so I can tell you about what's coming next. Other than that, you can get all the links over at russleach.com.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
Yeah, usual places like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and these places. You can also find me in the pages of this, which is a book I wrote and produced detailing my visits to Jack Kirby's house many years ago. You can see me in the pages of my magazine Comics Unlimited, which is a quarterly 100-page magazine about comics. And you can also get me on this coming up soon. I keep saying this, I'm having a few difficulties. My comic character Hatch. You can also find all my books, science fiction books and all sorts of things on Amazon. And I believe if you put my name in Google, lots of things come up. There you go. And you can find me on these podcasts too.
Hopefully nothing uncomfortable pops up on Google.
Well, I don't know. I don't do it. So if it is, it's not me. Don't blame me.
Hey, folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. We love doing this for you. You can find me over at aerocomics.store, where you can find books like Paragon, like Calico, like HeroBot Zero that I don't have handy at the moment. And take a look over there, aerocomics.store, if you want to see some of my work, both drawing and writing. So deeply appreciate everybody being here today. Next week, part 2. Yeah. Didn't want to have to continue this stuff again, but we were so good with the Alien book, we were able to go right through it. But
that Alien book was amazing.
It was. But there's so much great material out there, and there's so much of it that folks I don't think are looking at enough. That's why I keep saying, if you get a chance, go out and visit your local retailer, go look through their magazine boxes, go look through the boxes on the floor that have been sitting there for years, because there's so much great sequential artwork there to be just waiting to be rediscovered and enjoyed. So please do that. And if you find a book that you like, if you find even a modern comic that you truly enjoy, make sure you tell people about it. Make sure you tell your retailer how great it was, how much you enjoyed it, and read more comics, and buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours. So as other folks like to say, try to leave this industry in better shape than what you found it. And we deeply appreciate bringing this to you. Scott Rosema, anybody betting on Scott being here has lost. He has not made it.
Or Brian Morris.
Oh, yeah. Brian said he was going to try to be here as well.
And Ali said she might do it. She could get up. There you go.
Sunday, I'm thinking about doing cartoons again and seeing, because there's so many oddball cartoons out there waiting to show off.
Do it.
Maybe close out again with Super Chicken. I don't know. So, you knew the job was dangerous when you took it, Fred. Anyway. It's all great. Tom Terrific, the Captain Fathom. That's what made me start thinking about that. I ran across another a series that the guy from Space Angel and Clutch Cargo did. And if you haven't seen a Clutch Cargo, it's like Terry and the Pirates. You have to watch one of those just because it's really.
You have to watch it to believe it.
Yeah, you think Space Angel's bad. Clutch Cargo's worse. But there's another one out there of a Captain Nemo type character called Captain Fathom that we might look at on Sunday. So more cartoons. And I know we won't get struck for those. Nobody that wants to take responsibility for them. They're like,
no, nothing to do with me.
Animation on Sunday, folks. Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. Sunday mornings. We're archived over at the Indie Comics Network. Go over there and take a look at those old shows. They're a lot of fun, very entertaining to watch. The old shows of Comics by Night. 3 episodes on Steranko, 3 episodes on John Burns, Elsewhen material. There's a little Buscema, a little Wally Wood up there. There's just a lot of great fun up there, and we love doing this for you. We hope you enjoy it too. If you do, tell a friend. hit that like button, hit that love button. We don't get enough a reaction from you out there. We're on so early here in the States that not a lot of people are awake at this point, but do leave comments down in the chat. And if you haven't subscribed to the Indie Comics Network, do so, please, because we're really hoping to get monetized here eventually so that we can take super chats at 5 a.m. It'll be great. So be a good thing. Everybody, we wish you a great weekend. It's this Friday. Here it's just barely 7 o'clock my time. It's what, 11 o'clock your time? 12 o'clock?
12
noon.
It's 12.
Yeah.
I need more coffee now.
There we are. Yep. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you soon. See you on Sunday. It's Sunday, 9 a.m. Then we'll be back again here Friday morning at 5 a.m. Eastern time for another episode of Comics by Night. Somebody left a link here in the chat. Is that oh, it's for the YouTube.
No,
yeah, that's where we talked about that off camera.
Yeah, we don't
Folks,
talk about that now.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
That's Dania.
He said scrolling down. Here we are. Where is it? Not that one.
I think you'd have it right by now, wouldn't you, Russ?
Oh,
Yeah.
you'd think I'd have this core. I've got so many of these silly little clips up here that I'm not using anymore. I used to do Zimcast, so so we'd carry stuff like this.
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
Oh dear. YouTube's going to be banning us for swearing soon. So.
Only, I guess it's within the first 8 minutes. They'll knock your algorithms
right,
down if they catch a naughty word. So,
okay.
We'll see what happens with this.
I'll write some expletives down.
Watch your language from now on. Jeez, yeah, pitiful for TVMA DLSV anyway. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you. Oh, that's Sunday Funnies open. Here we go. See ya.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now,
All together now.
once again, this time, with
Feewick.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
Have a question or comment for us to address on the show? Have a topic you want us to talk about? Email us at indiecomicsnetwork@gmail.com. Want your comics to arrive in pristine condition? Head over to GeminiComicSupply.com and save 10% on your next Gemini mailer order or anything in the Gemini Comics Supply store. Use coupon code RAGIN10. That's RAGIN 10.
Again, hit the button, didn't go through.
We know our enemy. We've seen behind the curtain. And they have a weakness. An Achilles heel.
They are arrogant and completely underestimate what they are up against. They forget who the game master is. They forget how wise this old demon can be. So, let's see who among them survives this killing field.
Now on Sunday mornings, longtime independent comics creator Randy Zimmerman brings to you a podcast that talks about the lighter and more whimsical side of comics, the fun side of comics. That's right. Sunday Funnies is back Sunday morning, 9 a.m. on the Indie Comics Network on YouTube. Check it out. Special guests, great comic talk, good times. See you there.
Bye, Jack.
We really shook the pillars of heaven, didn't we, Wayne?
No horseshit, Jack.
No horseshit.
You pay it! I can't just cracks. I work too hard.